You're watching Maine Biz Sunday, Maine's business news source.
We've heard mostly positive remarks from policymakers, politicians, scientists, and community leaders about the future of wind energy for Maine. Phrases like, Maine can be the Saudi Arabia of wind are bantered about, which all sound pretty good, but we've heard less from the folks who will be responsible for actually designing, constructing, operating, and maintaining the massive new infrastructure that will be required to make all this more than just a slogan. Joining us today to discuss those very practical matters are Paul Williamson from the Maine Composites Alliance, Jackson Parker, CEO of Reed & Reed Construction, and Brick Barnes from Stantec Consulting. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Yes, wind energy is all the buzz and a lot of the talk, so I'm glad we could get you here to talk about it from an industry insider perspective. At least that's the way you are the industry insiders, right? Okay, good. we got the right people. And the other thing I really wanted to talk, the reason you're here is because you have started this new wind industry initiative group, and I want to learn more about that. Let's just to show our viewers a little bit about that first. The Maine Wind Industry Initiative. The purpose is to organize the interests currently involved in the wind industry in Maine to identify common needs, pursue common market opportunities, document the industry's needs, assist the state in leveraging resources, focus on both onshore and offshore wind development, which we want to talk more about, and form an industry-led and driven collaborative effort. Your main partners in the Wind Industry Initiative are the Maine Composites Industry, Heavy Constructors, Precision Manufacturing and Machining, Research and Development. In the government sector, it's the Maine Port Authority and the Governor's Office, and wind site developers, including First Wind and TransCanada, and engineering and environmental consulting firms. That's kind of the group that you're trying to pull together. And Paul, you're really taking part of the lead with developing that group. Tell me more about them.
Well, it's an effort to really bring together the industry so that we can, for starters, find solutions within Maine by partnering the different industry members and really enhance the technology and the capabilities that we have here within the state. And it's also to promote the state's capabilities beyond our borders because wind energy products, technology, those are products that we can export beyond the state of Maine and really help grow our local economy.
But why another group? We have groups, just going through your list, we have the AGC is in there, the Maine Manufacturing Association. We've got a lot of associations. Why did we need another one?
Well, we're not trying to start essentially another group. We're an organization of organizations.
Okay.
So we have all those groups that you just mentioned, and those groups have different focuses in different areas, and we need to make sure that there's one central focus for wind power development to help push this whole effort forward.
Yeah, and it seems like, we were kind of talking before we started shooting the show, that a lot of the elements are already there. It's just a matter of putting them all at the table at the right time. I mean, do you guys see it that way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that, just 4 years ago, no one was really involved in wind power in the state of Maine. Mm-hmm. And since then, a number of companies have become engaged in wind power. We've built a number of wind projects, and I think the next step is to bring it to the manufacturing of wind power components in Maine. And there's some things that need to take place for us to get to that point, but we're really excited about that.
And we're fortunate at Stantec to be involved in the early development of projects. And back in the mid-'90s, we were doing avian and bat work on wind power projects, and we've sort of become the leader in that across New England. And so our scientists in Topsom have really been fully engaged for quite some time on the very front end, the exploratory end, and the beginning and permitting and things like that, before it gets to handed off to Reed & Reed and companies like that to actually do the construction.
I understand how kind of the folks who are getting involved in, like First Wind, okay, getting involved, and they see that as a great opportunity for them. You're the ones that are actually going to build it, design it, do the engineering studies, and do the training part as well. How did you decide to get involved in this and see it as a viable business model for you to be involved with? I mean, it's pretty risky, isn't it?
Well, there's risk associated with any investment, and what you need to do is create an investment climate where you mitigate the risk. And what that does is it attracts capital, it attracts investors, and it creates project opportunities for people in Maine and investors to come in and provide that capital that we so desperately need.
For us, it was, in the mid-'90s, we did our first avian and bat study for the old Kennetech project, which is now the Kibbe project. And that grew from the pure science of birds and bats and wetlands to today where we have 80 people, $4 million payroll, involved in hard science aspects of wind power development. it clearly was coming, especially in the last few years, as Jack pointed out. It's really become the place to be, and you get aggressive developers like First Wind who are ready to make it happen.
Okay, I want to ask about competition then too. You're certainly a Maine-based firm. You have a strong Maine presence, and many of the firms that we talked about that you're going to be working with are Maine-based firms. That's great because this is Maine biz. But are you going to get the jobs? Are you going to get the work? Are there going to be competition from other states, other countries?
Well, when it comes to construction, I can tell you that of all the projects we've built, our company and our colleagues and other Maine contracting firms have built essentially every single commercial scale utility wind project in New England so far in the last 10 years.
So you're in a good position.
And so we can compete. We have competed on the basis of price, on the basis of best value, negotiated procurement, and what happens is developers have identified the fact that Maine companies perform. They have tremendous skill sets in the workforce. The companies are prepared to take the leading steps in developing an industry, and the past performance is the best indication of the future.
But isn't Europe ahead of us?
Sure.
In this, and will they be competing for these development and construction and design projects?
I don't think so. I think some of the money for development will come from there.
Okay.
But if you're going to develop something in a new area, what you do is look around and say, is there experience in this area? Are there people who can get her done for the price that I need to get it done for?
Okay.
And in Maine and across New England, you find that Maine companies do that.
Speaking of getting her done, I like that. We need workers to get her done. I'm going to turn to you on that. Will we have the technical workforce that we need to drive this industry?
Well, we're already putting some pieces in place that can make that happen. We just initiated a study to look at the European model of what they have for workforce, because they are further ahead of us on wind power development by a number of years. And we've looked at their workforce, and we've also looked at the available education and training that we have here within the state, both from university and community college level, but also from private partners such as Reed & Reed that do in-house education for their employees. And Maine currently has 80% of the education that's necessary for this industry. Many of those skills are transferable, so we need to identify where those skills are coming from and transfer them into the wind industry. But we're also taking leadership. Northern Maine Community College has a wind technician training program, and it's one of only 6 of those programs that are available throughout North America.
And a wind technician does what?
A wind technician, he does all the maintenance on the turbine.
On the big turbine.
And they're somewhat involved in some of the installation as well. So maintenance, repair, and also we're working with Northern Maine Community College and Southern Maine Community College. Southern Maine Community College has a advanced composite technician program. And we're looking at having the first in the nation certified composite technician program here in the state of Maine. So we're taking leadership in this area.
We're about out of time, but I do want to make sure that we talked about what's coming up next for the Wind Industry Initiative. I know you've got some things coming up and some forums coming up, so tell us about that.
Yes, well, a really big forum that we have coming up in cooperation with the University of Maine and the Maine Composites Alliance. We're hosting a seminar series January 12th through the 14th, and the point of the seminar series is what is the current state of technology throughout the world in wind power development, and what do Maine companies need to invest in order to be able to enter into that market space.
Okay. We're going to leave it there. I'm going to keep you around for an afterthought segment. We're going to ask them more questions. I really want to talk about this kind of offshore versus onshore and talk more about the environmental issues as well, so stick around. You can hear more of this discussion in our afterthought segment seen only on the web. Go to mainebiz.biz and click on the Maine Biz Sunday link. And to learn more about the Maine Wind Industry Initiative, go to www.mainewindindustry.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some final words.
Maine Biz Sunday is made possible in part by funding provided by the Finance Authority of Maine and the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development.